You are allowed to go back and rewatch the videos and see what's, how to do the problem. Nobody ever, you will never get fined. You'll never lose points for that. Okay, you're always allowed to do that, to go back and just double check what's going on. All right, but like I said, just pay attention here. These are all FOIL problems. X times X is X squared. X times 5 is plus 5X. Plus 5X. Plus 25. All right, take a look. Think, what's the final answer? Preston, what would be my final answer?
X to the second plus 5x, 10x plus 10x plus 25.
Yes, that would be my final answer. Am I going to get the same answer for number 2? Am I going to get the exact same answer for number 2? You are not. Okay, you're going to get close. X times X is X squared. X times negative 5 is minus 5X. I get another minus 5X, but what's negative 5 times negative 5? Colin?
25.
25. What's my final answer, Colin?
X squared minus 10x plus 25.
Okay, we get a minus 10x instead of a plus 10x, but we still get a 10x. All right, what's going to be that final answer there? X plus 5 times X minus 5. Okay, what's going to be that final answer? Okay, that is going to be X times X is X squared. X times negative 5 is minus 5X. I get positive 5X. And then I get negative 25. Okay, Zach?
X squared minus 25.
X squared minus 25. Okay, now this right here was X plus 5 quantity squared because they were both the same. This right here is X minus 5 quantity squared. Notice you always get a middle term. The only time you don't get a middle term is if one of them's plus and one of them's minus. But we've done the exact same thing on all three of them. We just FOIL. There's nothing new. Okay? And these are what we call perfect square trinomials, is when you have something squared. You got to remember you're going to get a middle term. The only time you don't get a middle term is what we call a difference of two squares, where we take a plus b times a minus b. That's the only time where you end up with the a squared minus b squared. Now, you don't need to memorize this. You don't even need to go over this because you already know how to do it. So let's just make sure we are good. Is that your first one there? All right, x plus 3 squared. Because here's what happens. Your first instinct is you just say, oh, yeah, x squared plus 9. You're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong. Did you get? Oh. All right, we're on the guided notes here. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Yep. We're on the first one for that. Yeah, you're right like that. Yep. So write it. X plus 3 times x plus 3. Right next to each other. And now you FOIL. You FOIL. X squared plus 3x plus another 3x plus 9 gives you x squared plus 6x plus 9. Done. Nothing else you can do. Just leave that. So once you get the combine those two middle terms, you get x squared plus 6x plus 9. And leave that. All right, now as you take a look at part B, or letter B. We really haven't done one like this, but we got to follow that same rule, okay? Rewrite it 2 times. So it's 4s plus 3t times 4s plus 3t. All right, first step. What do we get for that one, Zane?
4s times 4s.
What do you think that is?
16s squared.
16s squared. Preston, I think on your homework, the first term you just left as an x, and that made them all wrong. That's what I remember. So it's always an x squared. I think that was the case. All right, what do I do next, Zach?
You would multiply 4s by 3t.
What's that give me?
12 ST.
Yes, you need to put 12 ST. All right, what do I do next, Colin?
Then you multiply 3t and 4.
What's that gonna give me?
Also 12 st.
Yes, you can change the, even though the T is first, you can go ahead and make it ST. That's absolutely fine. And Morgan, what's my last term, or last step or term?
3t times 3t.
Which gives me what?
9t to the second.
Good, 9t the second. Make sure you make that the second power. All right, now, that's an ST here in the middle. There you got two STs. So you got 16s squared plus 24st plus 9t squared. Nothing else you can do. If you get that extra letter, it's not a big deal. You're just gonna have an s squared at the beginning, a t squared at the end, and then you got that middle term. All right, what did we got down here? We got, all right. See what you get for C. If you think you know how to do D, go ahead, but otherwise wait. But see what you get for C. Everybody should be able to at least get most of C correct.
Okay, go to the minus, so that has to be right. You can't switch that sign.
We got 16 and
So this will be a minus. That's minus 100. Okay, when you do 4m times 4m, make sure you make it m squared. I added
Other than that,
multiplication.
All right, Connor, help me out here. What's 4m minus 10 times 4m minus 10?
Me?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to do 4m times 4m would be 16m squared.
Okay.
Then you're going to do 4m minus 10 times negative 10 would be negative 40m.
Okay.
And then you're going to go to negative 10, and you're going to go negative 10 times 4m would be
Dude, that was
again.
6.
Okay.
And then negative 10 plus negative 10 would be 100.
Make sure you make it plus 100. All right, so you got 16m squared minus 40m plus 100. And that gives me 16m squared minus 80m plus 100. Okay, that's it. Done. Done. Now, you got to be careful here on this last one. You do want to write this as 7 minus r to the third times 7 minus r to the third. We just have like an r or an x or a y. Now we got an r cubed. We still got to follow our rules from earlier in the chapter. I multiply 7 times 7, well, that's just 49. Multiply 7 times negative r cubed. The only thing you can do is make that as minus 7r to the third. Same thing on negative r cubed times 7. It's minus 7r cubed. All right. Negative times a negative is a positive, but don't forget, what is r to the third times r to the third? Connor?
R to the 6.
R to the 6. That's when you add the
R to the 4. I said R to the 6.
add the exponent.
I didn't use
I was like, it should be 6.
So 49 minus 14 r cubed plus r to the 6. All right, for this one here, since before I'd accept that because how it's written, but normally we flip the order, and if you did flip the order and switch it around, that would be fine. R to the 6 minus 14R cubed plus 49. This is one where I would accept that different order, but normally you got to write it in a descending order. So all those have a middle term. All those have a middle term. What happens there on the ones on the bottom, though, you can't write this as something squared because they're different. This is a +4 and it's a -4. This is when you're going to end up with a difference of squares for your answer. X times x is x squared. X times -4 is -4x. 4 times x is +4x. And 4 times -4 is -16. This should be the case, the one case where those two middle terms add up to 0. Okay, and +4x and -4x will cancel out, and then the only thing you got is x squared minus 16. Okay, that's the only thing you're gonna have. Okay, 10 plus b times 10 minus b. You gotta watch, because in your head, you wanna flip the order. If you just flip it and don't do anything else, you're gonna end up getting it wrong. Just keep it like this. This is absolutely fine. You're just gonna do 10 times 10, which is 100. That's a common number here today, 100, seeing how we have 100 points in the test Thursday. 10 times -b is minus 10b. Plus 10b, and then I get minus b squared. Go ahead and keep this as 100 minus b squared because of that negative. And what's C? Oh, we got some, we got an extra letter. That.
So first we have to multiply the p to the second times p to the second, you get p to the fourth.
Okay, p to the fourth. Good. Then what's my next one gonna be?
Then you have to multiply p to the second times 8 cubed, and you get minus 8 p to the second.
I'm just gonna put it in alphabetical order, make it p squared cubed. Same thing, what you said, but and if you already wrote it like he said, that's fine, you don't need to switch it. Then what will be my next one?
Plus 8 p to the second cubed,
Okay,
and then minus 64 q to the second.
make sure you have q to the second. All right, so when we're all done, p to the fourth, the two middle terms add up to 0. Minus 64q squared. Okay, p to the fourth minus 64q squared. Is that anything new? We've done all that multiplying before, so it's either one's a quantity squared or one's a plus and one's a minus. All right, flip it over on the back. Okay, what's that? You still finishing C?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and flip it over on the back. These are all the rules from 7.1 to 7.4. We just want to hit them briefly. These are the ones where on that exponent review sheet, some of you just, so it's not clicking all the way on some of them. I want to make sure I hit them again. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, there's your property. So for this one here, 31.8 x to the 0, what does that equal? 1. Now watch though. What if I give you, take a look at what I just wrote up on the board. What does that equal? It equals 4 because it's still true that anything to the 0 power is 1, but the only thing to the 0 power is the x. That really becomes 4 times 1. This case here, since this is in parentheses and the whole thing's to the 0, it becomes, that whole thing becomes a 1. So you got to be able to tell where the 0 power is on. And you never should have a 0 power in your answer. Okay, you just drop it or just make it a 1. Remember, you cannot have a negative exponent in your answer. This is what a lot of you on that exponent review sheet did. You just kind of forgot about that step. If you got something to a negative exponent to make it positive, you move it to the, if it's in the top, you move it to the bottom. But only the negative exponent, so 2x to the negative third is 2 over x cubed. The 2 will still stay.
And also on that one, if the 2 were negative, we had a negative 2, the 2 would still stay in the top. We're only worried about negatives when they're in an exponent.
So what Mr. Schler's talking about, if you got negative 3, x to the negative fourth, negative 3 would stay on top. X to the fourth would go on the bottom because the negative 3 is not an exponent, so only exponents move. Now, all these rules build. Once we learn one rule, it still applies to every problem from here on out. So 1 over a to the negative m, remember it moves up? Well, now I got exponents negative in the denominator and numerator. We'll just move any negative exponent. So c to the negative second will move up. A to the negative fourth will move down, and those now become positive. This d does not have a negative exponent. It has to stay right where it's at. Okay, it has to stay right where it's at. No negative exponents in the end. No negative exponents in the end. When you are multiplying, oh, let me put some dots in here. This is a case where you actually add the exponents. Is this what you have? Okay. All right, so this with that one. Okay. All right, so make sure a to the m times a to the n equals a to the m plus n. All right, f to what power? As you take a look at J. Lee, what does this now become? What do I do with the 3 and the negative 7? It becomes f to the negative 4. G to the first times g to the fifth becomes g to the sixth. Now we go back to the rules we've already established. Can I leave that as an answer? Or Grant, I'm going to say this. Why can't that be the answer?
So the negative number,
So how do I fix it?
G on top, or G6 over F2.
Yes, that would be your final answer then. Okay. So you cannot leave that answer with that f to the negative 4. All right, what's that next rule? What do you do to those exponents when it's a to the m to the n power? That is where you multiply them. That is where you multiply them. So it becomes a to the m times n. And so we got 4 m to the fourth all to the 6th power. M to the 24th. M to the 24th. And so that's it. No negative exponents, you're done. You're done with that case. Oh, what's that next one? AB all to the n power? Okay, that n power has to go to both a and the b. Did we just freeze here?
Yes. What?
Frozen. All right. We'll keep recording. All right, let's see what we got.
Okay, while we're doing that, while Mr. Dino's doing this, remember you have a, b to the n, so it's like power to a power. Okay, so that exponent goes to both pieces that are inside there. All right, so you have a to the n, b to the n. All right, and then go ahead and try the example next to it. A to the n, b to the n.
Hey, we're back.
The important thing on this one,
Got that
now you have
number.
a -3, an x cubed, and a y in there. They're all being raised to that second power.
And always is an issue when you get that number to the power. Don't forget, it is not -3 times 2. Or wait, you guys got a different one? Here, I'll fix mine.
Okay.
What do they have?
-2, everything else is the same.
Everything else is the same?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know why I wanted to switch it. Okay. You gotta take -2 to the second power, which this is why -3 to the second is 9. Here's the thing. You accidentally get this right and be doing it wrong. You don't multiply the 2 times 2, you take it to the power. So Christian, what are you gonna give me the answer?
Yeah.
What do you got?
-4x to the 6th. And y to the 7th.
He's got one little thing wrong. Jordan?
-2x to the second, 3x, or x to the third, and then y to the second.
No. No, Josh?
It's 4x. Is that the -4?
It's a +4 power or +4 number because you gotta think of this as -2 to the second, which is a negative times a negative. Okay, negative times a negative. Okay, when you got you got division, you subtract the exponents. Now, x to the 5th over x squared is x cubed. This is a 1 minus 7, which is y to the -6. So you end up with x cubed over y to the 6. Some of you notice that you can just do 7 minus 1 and keep it on the bottom. That's absolutely fine. Okay, but the order we go in tells you where that number goes. So if I subtract the top number minus the bottom number, my answer has to go in the numerator. And if I take 1 minus 7, that means y to the -6 has to go in the numerator, and then I flip it down below. If you recognize that, hey, I can just do 7 minus 1 and keep it in the denominator, that's fine. Okay, however that works. All right, if you got a fraction to a power, both the numerator and denominator get the power. Now, 2n cubed over m squared. This becomes 2 to the 4th power. 3 times 4 gives you n to the 12th, m to the 8th. All right, here's one thing. Any constant to a power, figure out what it is. Do not leave 2 to the 4th in your answer. You cannot do that. You always have to take the constant to the power. You can use your calculator, absolutely fine. What is 2 to the 4th? Okay, what do you got, Colin?
16.
It is 16. It is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now that would be your final answer. 16 n to the 12 over m to the 8. And there are a couple different ways you can do this last one, but I think the easiest is anytime you got a fraction to a negative power, flip the inside, make it a positive power. Okay, so in the end, it's going to be b to the n over a to the n. So x cubed over 3 to the -3rd. You're going to flip the fraction. Make it a +3. What is 3 to the 3rd power? That is 27 x to the 18. X to the 18. Okay. So that's just a review over all those fraction rules. We did the foiling part earlier, which was really nothing new. And okay, I'm going to give you the practice test. We're not going to do the whole thing. To begin with,
I have my dad draw me up.
when you explain that,
We got blueberry.
Today? Barbara. Where at? Barbara. You guys have a tournament?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Josh, you know when the tournament is?
Saturday.
So that's, I don't think.
Bro, I wanted to be this week.
Alright, let's do the front, 1 through 16.
Come on, yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay, for this one, you can write on the sheet because there's enough room, that's fine. So you can you can do your work on the practice test for this one. And this needs to be uploaded for the homework assignment for tomorrow.